Being too verbose, a key skill in writing your RICS APC submission is to be clear and concise. Sometimes we see phrases that are too verbose and could be simplified. For example, it came to my attention that the client's rent review was overdue, and I advised them to instruct me to deal with the earliest opportunity. Instead, it would be much better to say I identified an overdue rent review and sought instruction from my client to deal with it. This is where asking a non-surveyor to be to a non-surveyor to proofread your work will pay dividends. Use of and in a list. If you're writing a list, then you only need and before the last item. So this is basically English in the list. So for example, the correct way would be to write, I collated, weighted and analysed comparable evidence, rather than I collated and weighted and analysed the comparable evidence. This is a simple example. It is important to note the correct use of and in longer lists. Use of could have rather than could have. Although when spoken, could have sounds a lot like could have, the correct use is always could have. So for example, the client would have proceeded with option 1. However, the time constraints meant that I advised proceeding with option 2. Tautologies. Okay. This is where you say the same thing twice in a sentence, just using different words. For example, dilapidated, ruins, close proximity, added bonus, and large crowd. These all say the same thing twice. You could just say ruins, close, bonus, and crowd. You and your. Getting the use of your and there and there can be tricky. Your is where something belongs to you. Your means you are. So saying something like you are an APC candidate, there is similar in that this is where something belongs to another person or them. They relates to where something is physically, so over there. Excellent additional resources on a written communication can be found in Plain English Campaign website. Okay. Put that on your list of to-do. They have guidance specifically available on report writing, letters and emails. In relation to reports, they should be appropriate for the client's requirements. These should be agreed upon the outset. Example, short or long form and presentation requirements. Using spreadsheets, graphs, charts and images can be a good way to bring a report to life and communicate more effectively with the client or end user. Ensure that all figures or tables are titled clearly in the text and the contents page. There are many excellent sources of information and guidance online how to use Microsoft Excel or other spreadsheets packages effectively, including Philip Bocock's book Excel for Surveyors. In relation to letter writing, a key challenge is often the use of yours faithfully, where you do not state the recipient's name, or yours sincerely, where you state the recipient's name. Formal language appropriate to the audience should be used, considering whether the use of lay or technical terms in more appropriate surveys are highly likely to be client-facing, either through informal interactions phone calls, emails, on-site meetings or formal meetings or pitches. Client updates should be issued in a professional, consistent and readable format, such as spreadsheets or word processed and reporting. Reporting should be frequent, and any key issues or risks should be highlighted at the earliest opportunity. Informal meetings or pitches, surveyors may need to give a presentation or speech to clients. Giving a presentation can be nerve-wracking, and finding ways to calm nerves and boost confidence is essential. Surveyors should rehearse what they are going to say and perhaps take brief notes on cue cards to jog their memories during the presentation. Positive language and clear verbal delivery are also key to communicating clearly. Ways to calm your nerves before a presentation include use eye contact to connect with your audience, practice in front of a mirror, record yourself or ask friends, family or colleagues for your feedback. Practice using breathing techniques, visualize the experience beforehand, avoid too much caffeine beforehand. It can make you feel more nervous or jittery. Have a glass of water with you, smile. The use of good visual aid may help the surveyor to communicate complex ideas or concepts effectively using presentation software such as Microsoft PowerPoint. Now, somebody in the WhatsApp group said they use Canva as well, rather than PowerPoint. So consider doing that. Here are some of your tips for creating an effective presentation. Keep text to a minimum. The 5-5 rule should be followed. Okay, what's that? Followed where no more than 5 words per line or text, 5 lines or text per slide, or 5 text heavy slides are used in a row. So yeah, make sure you do this with a mum because he needs to work on his presentation. So you can do this with your kids. So my son is in secondary school, so he had to do a presentation and he wants to rewrite that presentation because he didn't do very well. And I'm going to implement this with him. Graphics, charts and other visuals are a great way to retain attention and make slides visually interesting. Keep presentations clear and concise. The 10-20-30 rule should be followed, where a presentation has no more than 10 slides, lasts no more than 20 minutes, and only contains fonts larger than size 30. Okay. Only discuss ideas on each slide. Keep slide presentations consistent using a master slide and templates for various types of slides. Ensure fonts and font sizes remain consistent throughout. Use a color scheme that is accessible. Example, no red or on green, green on red, which is not accessible for those who are colorblind. And dark colored text on a light background. In your RICS APC final assessment interview, you will need to give a presentation on your case study, career history if you are a senior professional candidate. In the first 10 minutes during this, you'll be assessed on your communication skills, and this will go some way towards ensuring that you hit level 2 in the competency. You can find a downloadable template case study presentation template at Property Elite Free. Okay. The current online format on the APC interview requires a slightly different approach to presentation in person, as you are one step removed from your assessment panel, and practicing giving your presentation online beforehand can be a good way to ensure you are fully prepared for the day itself, avoiding hiding behind your visual aid, and ensure that you are able to present without it on the it in the unfortunate case of any IT issues.